Now let us solve the next question. The question says a person spends 75% of his income. His income increases by 60% and his expenditure increases by 70%. Now your question is, by how much percentage his savings will increase or decrease? Now this particular question can be solved in several ways. Not only this, any of your arithmetic questions can be solved in different ways, right? It all depends on your level of understanding and the logics you apply, right? The more smarter you are, the lesser the solution time it will take, right? Now this question can be solved using variables, which is a bit complicated. It takes a lot of time. The second way can be, you can assume some base number and you can solve that. That is a little bit better than the first approach. But there is a third approach which is much smarter, and that will be the shortest solution you can solve, right? And the particular concept I have already explained. That is a hint I'm giving you. Now before that, you can pause the video and try to solve the question on your own. I always keep telling, try to solve the question in the smartest way, right? That should be your approach, because it saves you a lot of your time, and it also generates enthusiasm, and it also creates a lot of interest to solve questions of maths, right? Let's solve this. A person spends 75% of his income. Now I hope you solve the question right before watching this video. You pause the video and try to solve the question in different approaches, not just one approach, because you see many aspirants, what they do is, the simple and the silliest mistake is, they keep practicing multiple books from whatever is available in the market, right? Whatever all the standard books available in the market. But if you see the questions, most of the questions are easy level, or the solutions given in the book is very much substandard and very much traditional. But that shouldn't be your approach. The purpose of launching this course is, I want to turn your way of solving the questions, right? You should see an U-turn in the way you solve a question, right? The approach should be completely different. That way you will be able to solve your save your time, and also you will be able to solve the question with more accuracy, and also it generates a lot of interest to solve maths, right? That is the first thing. Many aspirants face difficulty in quant section because they don't have any interest to solve the questions. Because if you take any book, you see the traditional way of the solution, you feel demotivated, right? Using variables, using formulae, all these things are not real math actually. If you want to solve the math, you have to understand the language, and you have to go without using any variables. You have to solve the question. You have to feel the question like a puzzle, right? That's why I keep telling, instead of practicing multiple books, practice the same question in different ways. That helps a lot, right? You take one question, you do in method 1, okay, then try to simplify it further, mark it as method 2, try to simplify it further, make it as method 3. That way solving a question in multiple ways will be more helpful than solving multiple questions from different books without actually focusing on the concept, right? So mind you, concept is the utmost important thing, not practicing different questions from different books, okay? This is the mantra for your preparation. Take any question, try to solve it in different methods, try to shorten the question in each of your approach, right? Now see this, I hope you tried your best to solve this question. Now the way I solve this question is, a person spends 75% of his income. This is a constant information given in the question. 75% means 3 by 4. So if I take 4 as my income, 3 will be my expenditure, correct? Because if I take 4 as my income, what will be 75% of 4? 75% of 4 means 3 by 4 into 4, which is 3. That's what I'm saying here. Anyway, I'll tell that concept again. Now 75% of income is 3 by 4. 75% means 3 by 4. So the base value 4, if I assume as my income, because a person spends 75% of his income, so this base value will be my income, and 75% of my base value will be 3, right? 75% is 3 by 4. Again 3 by 4 can be decoded as base value will be 4, 75% of base value will be your numerator itself. I will explain in detail this concept again in coming questions, okay? For now see this, 75% is 3 by 4, 4 is your income, 3 will be your expenditure. So 1 will be your savings, right? This is your information given. Now say this, try to reverse engineer this question. Say this, whenever you have a savings, you have income, savings and expenditure, mix them, what you will get? You will get income, right? Savings plus expenditure, when you mix them, you get your income, correct? What I will do is, I got my savings is to expenditure ratio, that is 1:3. Agree? Done. So savings is to expenditure, so this can be my weights ratio. So if I take savings is to expenditure, it will be 1:3, right? What is my savings now? So his income is increased by 60%. What happens is, savings plus expenditure, when you mix, you get income, right? Now what happens is, his expenditure is increased by 70%. So expenditure, this is savings, this is expenditure, this is increased by 70%. You don't know what is his savings percent increase or decrease, let it be X. So when savings percent increase or decrease and expenditure increase or decrease, club together, you will have income increase. That's what he is given, income increase by 60%. That's it. Your question is done. This is the equation form. That's it. Okay. Now how will you solve this? See this. 70 minus 60, what it will be? It will be 10, right? 70 minus 60, difference will be 10. Now if you observe this here, one value is given as 10%. That's what you're getting here. Now based on this relation, what will be 3 value here? One value is 10%, means 3 value will be 30%. So that means here you will get 30%. What is this 30%? It should be difference of this and this, correct? Now always in mixtures, what happens is, when you mix two entities, you get some average, right, between this one. Always your resultant will be in between the extremities, right? What I mean to say is, this 60 will be greater than one entity and lesser than other entity, right? Because this average to be in between these two extremities, it has to be greater than something and lesser than something. Agree? It should not be greater than both. It should be greater than one thing and it should be less than one thing. Now what happens here, if you see 60 here, this is already less than 70. That means this particular thing, this is already greater thing, right? 60 is less than 70, that means 60 should be more than this entity. Agree? As I told you, the resultant will be greater than one entity and less than other entity. Only that way you will get a resultant quantity, right? So since this 60 is less than this one, less than this part, this 60 will be greater than this 60 is less than this one, means this 60 will be greater than this one. Agree? Greater than this one. That's it. So this 60 should be greater than X, means 60 minus X is giving you 30%. That's it, right? So this 30%. So your X is nothing but 30%. That's it. So your X is nothing but 30%. From this, what you can say is, this 30% is nothing but positive value, right? So 30% increase in savings. So you can say there is an increase of savings by 30%. 30% increase in savings. That's it. This is the easiest approach you can solve the question. Now let me explain this question once again. He said that the ratio between savings and expenditure is 1:3, correct? Now what happened is, you want to find savings is increasing or decreasing, okay? You don't know this particular value, but expenditure part he has given, your expenditure is actually increasing by 60%, 70%, and because of this expenditure raising by 70%, and there is something in this savings percent clubbing together, your income is increasing by 60%. That's it. That is the easiest logic, right? So expenditure 70% increase, see here, expenditure 70% increase, and you don't know this X% increase or decrease, but then income is increased by 60%, okay? Clubbing together, you will get savings is to expenditure. So expenditure is 3 parts, income savings is 1 part. So if you do this, 70 minus 60, you are getting 10. So 1 value is equivalent to 10 means 3 value will be equivalent to 30. Now I told you your average will always lie between, not exactly between, somewhere between the two extremities, right? Average 1, average 2 mixing together average 3. This average 3 will be somewhere in between average 1 and average 2. Agree? Now you see here 60 is already less than 70. That means 60 should be greater than the other entity. That means other entity should be less than 60. So what you can say, what is the relation between other entity and 60? 60 minus x will be equal to this difference. 60 minus x is equal to difference, right? That's what I have written here. 60 minus x is equal to difference, so x will be 30%. So 30% is the positive, that means there is an increase of 30% in savings. That's your answer. That's it. Right? A bit demotivating thing I observe is many people are very much interested in the course. They keep messaging me in person, but then they are very much hesitating to give a personal, private, public comment, or they're hesitating to share the videos, right? So please don't be that way. Please don't mind this. Feel free to share this video among your friend circle as much as possible, because you people will get mutual benefited, right? So all people, you all people friend circle, prepare together and fly to US together. Okay, stay united and keep sharing these videos among your friend circles. That will be very much helpful and beneficial as well, and that will be motivating factor for me as well, right? I hope you take me in the right sense. Thank you.